Hey everybody, welcome to Home with the Halsteads and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making cornbread for my chicken and dressing for Thanksgiving. I like to make mine ahead of time, my dressing, and put it in the freezer so that I don't have all these pots and pans and broth and stuff in my kitchen when my children come, because if yours are like mine, where grandmama is, where you are, then they are right there with you. So my kitchen is filled with love and joy and my family, and I don't want pots and pans. So I'm going to make my dressing and have it ready to pop in the oven and cook when they come. So let me tell you how we're going to make our cornbread. And we'll do the cornbread, and then I'll do another video and we'll put our dressing together, and I'll show you how I do that and what goes in it. I'm starting out with one egg, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon salt, 3 tablespoons of vegetable cooking oil, 3 tablespoons of vegetable cooking oil, 1 cup of whole buttermilk, 1 cup of whole buttermilk, 1 cup of cornmeal, and this is plain cornmeal, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder. And that's all it takes to make this cornbread. Now today I'm going to be making mine in a cake pan. And I know you're going to say, well, why not make it in a cast iron skillet? And I will tell you why. I do make mine in cast iron skillets, and if I was just making cornbread for us to eat, I would want it to be crunchy, I would want it to be brown. I would use my cast iron skillet. But another reason that I'm using this, you may not have a cast iron skillet, and so I'm using this to show you that you can use anything that you have to make your cornbread, so that you can have some dressing at Thanksgiving. So let's get busy and make this cornbread for our dressing. We're starting out with our egg, and I'm just going to beat that a little bit and get it started before we add our other ingredients. This cornbread is really easy to make. Next, I'm adding our salt, 1 teaspoon of salt, and just continuing to mix. Next, I'm going to add our vegetable cooking oil. I'm just mixing all of our liquid ingredients together first. And I'm using this little spatula to get all of the oil out of the little container. And I'll continue to mix that. And then I'm adding our buttermilk. This cornbread is not only delicious to make your dressing, it's a good recipe just to have with your vegetables, with your soups. But like I said, you might want to make it in a cast iron skillet so that it'll be nice and brown on the bottom and on the top, and it'll be crunchy and moist in the middle. So I've mixed all of our liquid ingredients together. Next, I'm going to add our cornmeal. And I'm just taking a spoon and mixing that around. I love to make cornbread, but I love to make dressing too. It's been a tradition that we just always have dressing at Thanksgiving. And next and last, I'm adding our baking powder. This was my Aunt Willie's cornbread recipe, and she just added her baking powder last, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, now I have greased my cake pan with Crisco shortening, a solid shortening, and I'm just going to pour my cornbread mixture into the cake pan. And like I said, I'm just demonstrating this today just to show you that you don't have to have a cast iron skillet. I know that everybody doesn't have one, and that you just use what you have to cook your cornbread. Spread that out. And if you need more dressing than what I'm making, you can certainly double the recipe. And it's as simple as that. We have our cornbread mixture mixed up and ready to go in the oven. I've preheated our oven to 425 degrees, and I'm going to put it in the oven and bake it for probably about 20 minutes, but I'll check it and I'll let you know when it gets done. Our cornbread is done and it's ready to come out of the oven, and it looks luscious. I'd love to just cut a piece and put some butter on it and eat it, but I'm going to use it in our dressing, so I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, our cornbread is done. I'm going to let it cool, and then I'm going to go ahead and crumble it and put it in an airtight container and put it in the refrigerator. I also have washed and boiled 8 chicken thighs with the skin. I've got it on the stove behind me, and so that's what I'm going to be using for my broth. And I do that ahead of time too. And I'm going to, once it gets done, I'll let it cool. I'll debone it, put the meat aside, and I like to put my broth in the refrigerator, let the fat rise to the top, solidify, and then skim off most of that fat, and we'll be adding some butter to our dressing. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll put our dressing together.